The night Sam vanished began like any other. Quiet, soft, almost peaceful. The kind of night Lee usually loved. But peace has a strange way of shattering without warning, and that evening it broke in the most terrifying way. Lee returned to the small farmhouse just after sunset, carrying a basket of fruit Sam liked. He pushed the door open, expecting to hear her gentle voice, her soft footsteps moving around the kitchen, maybe even the little laugh she made whenever he surprised her with something simple. But the house was silent. The lights were off. The bed still slightly messy from the morning. A cup of tea on the table, cold. Her jacket missing from the hook. Her phone left behind, screen dark. A chill ran down Lee's spine. "Sam?" he called, forcing his voice to stay calm. No answer. He walked through every corner of the house, then outside calling her name again and again. Nothing but the wind answering him, brushing through the tall grass behind the garden. Something inside Lee broke. Sam wasn't someone who disappeared. She always told him where she was going, even if it was something as simple as buying vegetables at the market. She wasn't impulsive, she wasn't reckless, and she certainly wouldn't leave without her phone, especially now, especially when she was carrying his child. The thought struck him so hard he had to steady himself against the doorway. Their baby, their tiny fragile world that had only just begun to take shape. A future he had barely allowed himself to imagine, but one he was already desperate to protect. And now she was gone. Lee's breathing grew shallow as fear curled around his throat. His mind raced with possibilities. Had she been threatened again? Had someone taken her? Or worse, had she left because she didn't trust him to protect her and their unborn child? The idea crushed him. He grabbed his phone and ran out the door, no longer caring about anything except finding her. The sky rumbled in the distance, warning of an approaching storm, but Lee didn't stop. He couldn't. Not when Sam, his Sam, was out there alone, scared and vulnerable. "Please," he whispered into the night, voice trembling. "Sam, where are you?" For the first time in his life, Lee felt what true fear was. The fear of losing the two people he had only just learned he couldn't live without. The morning sun rose slowly, but it brought no warmth to Lee. His house felt unbearably silent, as if all the air had been sucked out the moment he discovered Sam was gone. The breakfast she usually prepared was untouched. Her sandals were missing. Her phone was left behind, screen cracked, as if it had fallen during a hurried escape. And then the detail that hit him like a punch, the medical papers confirming her pregnancy were gone too. Lee clenched his fists. His breath trembled. Why would she run? Who took her? Did she leave because she thought he wouldn't want the child? The thoughts came at him like waves, loud and merciless. He rushed outside, calling her name until his voice cracked. "Sam! Sam! Where are you? Answer me!" Nothing. Only the distant echo of birds moving across the fields. Lee immediately went to the neighbors, knocking on every door like a desperate man sinking in quicksand. "Did you see Sam last night?" "No, Lee." "Has anyone come to the farm recently?" "We haven't seen anything strange." Every answer cut deeper. By noon, Lee's shirt was soaked with sweat, dust covering his shoes. He drove toward the town market, one place she always visited. He asked every vendor, every passerby, holding on to the smallest hope. "She bought some vegetables around 5. She looked tired, a bit pale. After that, I didn't see her." Pale. Of course she was pale. She was pregnant, and she was carrying his child. Lee felt something twist painfully inside him. He had been preparing to protect them both, to learn how to be gentle, to give her stability after all the storms she had faced. He wasn't ready to lose her. Not again. Not like this. He went to the police station next, but the moment he stepped inside, the officer shook his head. "She hasn't been missing long enough for an official case, but we'll keep an eye out."
it wasn't enough. It wasn't nearly enough. So Lee took matters into his own hands. He returned to her home and searched for anything that could explain why she disappeared. That was when he noticed something on the ground next to her bed. A footprint. A man's footprint. Wet mud. Someone had been inside. Lee's heartbeat roared in his ears. This wasn't just disappearance. This was danger. And if someone dared touch the mother of his child, Lee would tear the world apart to find them.
Lee didn't sleep at all. The night felt endless, stretching like a cruel shadow across his chest. Every hour that passed without news of Sam tightened the fear gripping his heart. He paced outside the small house Sam once called home, staring at the dim lamp she had forgotten to turn off. It flickered weakly, like hope slowly dying. At dawn, Lee forced himself to think clearly. If Sam didn't leave willingly, then someone took her. He hurried into the village, asking everyone he met. Most shook their heads, others had seen nothing. But then an old vendor hesitated, her eyes narrowing with concern. "I saw her last night," the woman whispered. "She was talking to a man near the market. He looked angry." Lee's blood ran cold. "Did she go with him?" he asked. "I don't know, child, but she looked frightened." Frightened. The word stabbed him straight through the heart. He sprinted toward the market, replaying every moment of the past weeks. Sam's trembling hands, her distracted smiles, the way she hugged her belly when she thought nobody was watching. She had tried to tell him something. She had wanted to be strong for the baby. And now she was gone. Reaching the market, he scanned the empty stalls. A security camera hung crookedly from a post, barely functioning, but still worth checking. Lee ran to the small electronics shop nearby. "Please," he begged the owner, "let me see last night's footage. It's urgent." The man grumbled, but agreed. Together, they watched the grainy recording. Minutes passed. Nothing. More minutes. Still nothing. Then suddenly, there she was. Sam appeared on the screen carrying a small basket, walking slowly as if tired. She kept looking behind her. Her steps were unsteady. Her hand clutched her stomach. A man followed her. Tall, wearing a cap, keeping distance but not enough to hide his intention. Lee's jaw clenched so tightly his teeth ached. Something icy crawled through his veins as the figure grabbed her arm, pulling her toward the dark alley behind the market. Sam struggled, but she was weak, pregnant, exhausted. The footage ended there. Lee pressed his palms to the table, shaking with rage and fear. "She didn't run away," he whispered. "She was taken." And in that moment, something ignited within him, an unbreakable resolve. He would find her, he would save her, and he would protect their child with every breath he had left, no matter who stood in his way. Lee ran. He didn't feel the cold, didn't feel the branches scraping his arms, didn't even feel his own heartbeat anymore. All he knew was one thing. Sam was out there, scared, pregnant with his child, and alone. And if anything happened to her, he would never forgive himself. The rain had thinned into a cold mist, hanging over the forest like a ghost. His flashlight cut through the darkness in shaky arcs as he followed the faint traces she had left behind. Footprints washed by rain, a piece of her scarf caught on a branch, the soft scent he recognized anywhere. "Sam! Sam! Please answer me!" His voice cracked. Silence. Then, a faint whimper. He froze, his breath caught in his throat. "Sam?" He sprinted toward the sound, slipping on wet ground, grabbing at trunks and stones to keep his balance. And then he saw her. Sam curled beside an old wooden hut,
trembling, soaked to the bone, arms wrapped around her stomach as if shielding the tiny life inside her. She looked up, eyes swollen from tears. "Lee, I was scared." His heart shattered. He dropped to his knees and pulled her into his arms without a second thought. She was ice cold, too cold. "Why did you leave?" His voice was soft but shaking. "Do you know what you did to me? I thought I lost you. I thought I lost both of you." Sam's tears flowed again, soaking his shirt. "I didn't want to cause trouble. I don't know if I should stay. I don't know if you even want me anymore." Her voice cracked. "And when I heard everything last night, I panicked." He cupped her face and forced her to meet his eyes. "Sam, listen to me. You and the baby, you are my whole world. Nothing else matters. I don't care what happened before. I don't care about the pain, the mistakes, the past. I just want you safe. I want our child safe." She broke down, sobbing into his chest. He wrapped his coat around her and lifted her carefully into his arms, holding her as though she were the most fragile thing he had ever touched. "We're going home. You're not running anymore, and I swear on my life, Sam, nobody will ever hurt you again." As he carried her back through the silent, mist-covered path, dawn slowly broke over the treetops. A new beginning for the three of them.
Life lesson. In the end, the story of Sam and Lee teaches a powerful truth. Love is not proven by words, but by courage, responsibility, and presence. Lee's fear of losing Sam and their unborn child forced him to confront a part of himself he had ignored for too long: his silence, his hesitation, his tendency to think love could wait. It couldn't. Moments slip away, people disappear, and chances vanish without warning. Sam's disappearance reminded him that even the strongest love can break when someone feels alone. Pain grows in the spaces where communication should be. Fear grows where trust hasn't been built enough. But their reunion showed something even more important. Love survives when people fight for each other. Lee fought, not just to find her, but to become the man she needed. Sam fought, not just to survive, but to believe she deserved to be loved and protected. Together they learned that love requires honesty, even when it hurts. Protecting someone means showing up, not just promising to. Fear disappears when hearts choose each other boldly. And the greatest lesson of all, family is not defined by blood alone, but by the ones who refuse to leave, even in the darkest night. Their story reminds us that no matter how fragile love seems, it becomes unbreakable when two people decide to protect it with everything they have.